So this is just a small tutorial on how to plot your data points into the TI-83 or 84. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to open up the calculator, and let me just show you the screen. So like in class I said, it all starts with stat, S-T-A-T. So let's assume we had a list of x's and a list of y's. So where are you going to go? So you go to stat. And then your first option is edit, and that's exactly where you want to go. So now you hit enter. Now this is where you're going to put your lists. Your data points. The x values are going to go in list 1, and the y values are going to go to list 2. Now remember, if there are already values, there's a way to clear everything from that column. And that is go all the way to the top and make sure L1 is highlighted, and then hit clear and enter. Only do this if there are values already in that column. But I don't have any, so I really didn't have to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's say our x values were, I'll keep it simple for this tutorial, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to scroll over to the right and pair them up with their y values. So let's say the y value was 2, 4, 8, 16. So let's say we had 4 pairs then of points. So 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 8, 4, 16. Remember, x's, y's. All right, so we're almost done, believe it or not. So now we have to set up our stat plot. We've got to make sure we have it all set up so it graphs correctly. So right above the y equals, you notice the word says stat plot on your calculator. To access that, you hit the second function key right below it. So it's second function y equals. Now here is where you set up your plots. So you can put 3 plots here, but we only want 1. It's off right now, so I'm going to turn it on by hitting enter. And now notice that it's blinking on the on, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter, and it changes the off to the on. The type of graph, that's the one we want. That's the scatter plot. We have other kinds of graphs that we can create, but we're not going to use those right now. We're just going to focus on our first one. And then make sure that the x list states L1 and the y list states L2. Now, what that means is that the x values are in list 1 and the y values are in list 2. Well, we already knew that. So, one more thing right before you actually graph this stuff. Like I said in class, make sure you have nothing else in the y equals, in the equation area where you put the equations to graph. So if you hit y equals, notice that the area is completely blank of equations. So there's nothing here. You want to make sure that is the case so that it doesn't interfere with your plot. All right. Last step then. If there's nothing there, hit the zoom key and scroll down to number 9. I believe it's number 9, and there it is, zoom stat. Remember, stat is the word to look for. Hit enter, and there are your points. If you hit the trace key right next to the graph key, you get to see your points with their x, y's on the bottom. Okay. Don't forget to hit the zoom stat key. Let me do it again. When you're going to graph, a lot of students, instead of doing this, there's the graph again. Instead of doing that, they go directly to graph, and that's not going to do it. That you won't see the correct thing. So make sure you hit zoom stat at the end, or to see the graph. All right, guys, hopefully this helps, and I'll see you next time.